Yo, 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 welcome back to That's Fyre. This is episode 97, I believe. And I'm your host, JD, your new favorite dance music, culture, etc. podcast. I'm happy to be with you guys today. We have a truly loaded episode today. Actually, not insanely loaded, I would say, but some pretty good topics, some of which will be bad news out of Burning Man first day, this last weekend. I'm going to talk about that. Snoop Dogg, how much he made at the Olympics. Boiler Room had to cancel Disclosure's set due to crowd surges. LP Giobbi versus Taylor versus the Swifties. And then also Porter Robinson's tour. Excision has music in a big movie coming up. This is big things coming soon. And then, a little bit of open format discussion to end it, but let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start off with this serious news first, right? Get it out of the way. You want the good news or bad news first? You always say bad news, right? But a woman has died at Burning Man day one. 39-year-old woman was found unresponsive this last Sunday, a few days ago, could not be revived by festival's own emergency services. So this article came out yesterday. As of this time, they were still trying to figure out what happened. They're still pending results of an autopsy and toxicology screening. The sheriff of Black Rock City said at 11:29 a.m. local time on Sunday morning, the emergency services responded to reports of an unresponsive individual. Once on the scene, life-saving measures were immediately attempted but were unsuccessful. A statement from Burning Man officials read, "The safety and well-being of our staff and community are paramount. We are cooperating fully with local authorities as they investigate this incident." Obviously, shit is sad. You never want to hear something like this. I hope everyone's okay. Who is around her? Obviously, she's not okay. But her name was Kendra Fraser. And shit, man. I hope it wasn't like an overdose. You don't want to speculate any of these things, but yeah, it's a tough start. And all the news has been about how not a lot of people are going. I actually have a couple friends who are going, who found tickets for like $100 or something. Mad jealous of them. Shout out to them though. That's gonna be. I bet it'll be interesting. I don't know if it will show that there are less people there or what, but I'm very interested to hear about how it is and what happens. But yeah, we wanted to start with that. Okay, news of the week. Start with some serious stuff that we just got to talk about, just straight up, happened at like fucking 11:30 the first day. Like that's insane. But moving along here. Thoughts and prayers, obviously. Snoop Dogg reported to have earned $9 million from Olympic appearances. If you didn't follow, Snoop Dogg was just at every Olympic event, just vibing, just hanging out, and apparently he got paid $9 million for it. And then the result was the result, though. Like, when I read this, I was thinking, like, Snoop Dogg really, like, he did great, but like, what exactly did he do? Just hang out? Like, could the Olympics or NBC or whoever paid him, like, pay someone else for cheaper for similar results? And then I slapped myself in the face for a second. And I was like, yo, no one can do what Snoop does. Like, when he was dressed up as the equestrian rider, like sitting next to the equestrian rider just dancing, like that alone like was worth $9 million. But with the LA Olympics coming up, he's about to, dude, he could probably just ask for a raise. You know what I mean? It's fucking insane. Also, never mentioned, I got the Paddington hat on. Shout out to my friend's aunt for knitting this for me. I wore it to Portola last year, and I don't know how many times I've worn it since, but I was sitting here about to record the pod, and I was like, let me just dress like I'm going to a rave every time I sit down to record, you know? Or why don't I just dress like every day is a rave? You know what I mean? I saw, I believe it was Mary Droppins on Twitter, kind of voicing just that mindset. Like, why don't you just make every day a festival? And I love that. Love her, obviously. And, she's the best. But, I think that's just what I'm trying to do with this podcast. I think it's fun to be reminded about that. And I think what you're wearing really can affect your mood, you know? Like, if you dress like the day's not important, then you kind of mentally go through it as if the day's not important, you know? So, I like to get dressed up even if I'm not doing nothing. And obviously it's like, you can wear sweats and like a baggy shirt and like not feel bad about it or not feel anything, but like, you owe it to yourself sometimes to get dressed up a little bit. And wanted to throw on the shades and the hat and just fucking go after it, you know what I mean? So good day to you guys. I hope you guys are all having a great day if you're listening. But up next, Boiler Room cancels Disclosure's set in London due to crowd surges. This is kind of insane. They brought their biggest event yet to London, while the 5-stage festival at Lee Valley Showgrounds seemed to go off without a hitch for the most part. The experience was soured for some as a surprise set from legendary duo Disclosure was cut short due to crowd surges. Boiler Room stepped in after Disclosure had started their set to shut it down. The duo took to Instagram to share their statement on the cancellation, saying, "Unfortunately, it's out of our control, but the festival has deemed it unsafe for us to play due to crowd surges." And then just the nature of Boiler Room, like, if the crowd surges and they're in the middle, then they're just like, it's just a stampede, you know? Then Disclosure and the decks are just done for at the bottom of a fucking surge crowd. Not good. Not good. I wonder how many people there were. We worked really hard on the set for months, Disclosure said. Flew from Los Angeles just to do it, and honestly are heartbroken we can't play. We won't be coming back on, but hope to see you again soon, London. Boiler Room offered some clarity, stating, "Our secret guest Disclosure pulled a massive crowd in London today. We unfortunately had to halt their set due to such high demand, not their fault." The brand apologized to those who came out and teased that they would plan on bringing back the duo back to London very soon. So, if you're there, just be on the lookout for the next London Boiler Room, I guess, because you don't want to miss out on that. That would suck if you were there. Maybe it was your first time seeing them, but the Boiler Room setting is always fucking legendary, and then they get canceled, and then you can't make it to the next one that they go to. That would be unfortunate. Not to be a negative Nelly, but actually to be a positive Paul, I'll say this: you'll always have another chance. You'll always have another chance to see them again. Moving along here. The last little segment in the news segment. LP Giobbi shared this voicemail that she got after her set. Where was it? She was playing like this last weekend. I don't know exactly where, but she showed a DM of, it was a voice message of this girl saying that she was really fucking disappointing. Where was here it is. If you didn't hear that, I'll probably play it in there. But she said, "Where was Cruel Summer? That was really disappointing. Fuck you." It was at Budapest's Sziget Festival. And LPGOB, obviously, like, chill as fuck, cool as shit. She was like, "This is the best DM ever." Like, didn't freak out about it, didn't have a bad mood about it. But goddamn, the Swifties are everywhere, dude. The Swifties are not one to be trifled with. I mean, if they are willing to come after LPGOB like that, then no one is safe. Absolutely no one. So that's great. But shout out to LPGOB for taking it like a champ. She's the coolest person ever. All right, now moving along to the big things coming soon segment. We have 2 stories here. One of them, keeping it on the Taylor Swift theme, I suppose. Porter Robinson's tour that he's about to go on is inspired by Taylor Swift's Eras tour. So, what does that mean? He said to himself, "What if I went as a Porter fan right now? What would be the ultimate experience?" And then he decided on doing a bit of an Eras tour, right? Taylor Swift just went on this Eras tour, performing music across her whole catalog, but a lot from her newer projects and whatnot. It became the highest grossing tour of all time, passing $1 billion in revenue. So that was kind of like the success of that kind of show. And obviously it's Taylor Swift, so like whatever. Like, maybe if she didn't call it the Eras tour and was just touring the last album, she still would have had these numbers because of how big she is. But the fact that she called it the Eras tour and performed everything from every era is like, definitely, I would think, had an effect on the sales and the popularity and the size and scale of it all. So Porter Robinson's next tour, which makes me happy because I didn't get to see him on the Nurture tour, but he's going to perform most of his most recent album, Smile. But then he is going to take fans on a nostalgic trip through Worlds and Nurture also. So that's super fucking hype and super dope for someone like me who I don't think I've seen Porter Robinson live, but I know that I've like followed and watched like live streams. But I think that's like an insanely awesome idea. Big things coming soon, coded indeed. So shout out Porter Robinson for fucking doing that. Next up, this is like the funny big things coming news of the week. Excision confirms involvement in I don't know why those names are Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett Johansson led Transformers film. So Excision featured footage of the film in his set at Base Canyon at the Gorge, and people were speculating, what does that mean? And it means that he's about to have music in Transformers, which is like so incredible because this is like perfect for me, because when I am like telling people who don't listen to EDM, family members, friends, whatever, like, it's like when I say EDM, you probably think of like Transformer, metallic, chaotic sounds. Like, EDM isn't just that. But Excision is out here saying EDM is just that. I'm doing a fucking Transformers movie. It's like fucking perfect because EDM can be that, but it also, like, at least for me, when I'm trying to explain to everyone else like what it is, and like some people hear the word EDM and just get like cringed out, or just like are very assuming and think that and just assume this brand of dance music. It's like this is like using Transformers is the exact example that I use. And so fucking seeing this is insane. So he quote tweeted Chris Hemsworth, said, "Robot noises, shaking hands, robot movies, See you at Lost Lands. Transformers 1 rolled out at Base Canyon last weekend. I've been a huge fan of Transformers since I was a kid, so I'm excited to be working with Transformers 1 and Paramount Pictures on this project. So Transformers 1 is that animated film that's coming out. So they're about to have Excision on there. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go see that, but I might have to because of Excision. Big things coming soon indeed, dude. But lastly, open format to close it out, right? Just a little bit of a conversation. New York City intervenes after Brooklyn Mirage bans Nalaxone, Narcan. Let's see. During a recent show, Brooklyn Mirage faces backlash after banning Narcan amidst broader safety concerns. Patriots have expressed fear that not enough is being done to keep them safe. Seemingly out of nowhere, Nalaxone was banned from the venue, although it did not appear on its prohibited items list. So this is written by someone on EDM Identity. They said, during a recent show, I was carrying sealed Narcan into the venue. I carry a sealed package of Narcan to nearly every event I attend, and the only issue I've encountered is when a security person doesn't know what it is. On the night in question, security escorted me to a medic who said that Narcan was banned inside the venue. I stated that sealed Narcan is legal in all spaces in New York City. The medic responded that the venue can ban anything it sees fit, and there are no exceptions to their rules. While taken aback by this policy, I also understand that the medic couldn't override it, so I let it go for the night. Email inquiries were made to Brooklyn Mirage and the NYC Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. The venue has not responded at this time, but the city has, and they support our feeling that Nalaxone should be allowed. So, I'm writing to you on behalf of Commissioner Vason in response to your inquiry. This is the message from the New York City Department of Health. Nalaxone is a safe and effective medication at reversing an opioid overdoses and saves lives. We know that when responding to an opioid overdose emergency, seconds matter. We have followed up this incident with the Office of Nightlife, and they have informed us that Brooklyn Mirage will be updating their policy to allow patrons to carry Naloxone inside their venue. We will be following up directly with Brooklyn Mirage to ensure they are aware of recent complaints and offer resources and training. That's sick. So I wonder if it was just a miscommunication or what. Like, did security was security just being dickheads, and was the medic just being a dickhead, or were those the actual orders? Because I don't get not allowing life-saving, medication and whatnot into a venue where people are 100,000% like getting fucked up. And if it's allowed in every single place in New York City, then that's just like period, So it remains to be seen how Brooklyn Mirage will adapt to this request. As a private venue, they can indeed ban anything that they want. However, it also seems to be in their best interest to comply, as ultimately patrons will spread word if they feel unsafe, and those patrons can speak quite loudly if they choose not to purchase tickets. I don't think Brooklyn Mirage really has a choice, and I don't get why people, or they wouldn't want it in there. Like, what the hell? I guess they don't want. This is what happens with Electric Forest, or what I can gather. Like, they didn't allow safe, what is it called? Drug safe, whatever. Like, the people that sell drug testing or give away drug testing kits and etc. They don't want to be associated with them, so they don't allow them at the festival, because from third parties might see that they allow these people to provide drug testing kits, and not everyone is okay with people doing drugs in their city, town, venue, whatever. So that might be Brooklyn Mirage's case, where they're like, hey, if we allow this, then we're basically holding up a sign, putting down a sign in our front yard that says people do drugs here, even though everyone already knows that. Like, it can affect, they don't want to just blatantly have the sign out there and saying that we do that. So it's kind of like a weird situation. But I think, honestly, if everywhere else in New York City allows it, they should be too. And here we have, this article continues and says this isn't the only concern that continues to surround Brooklyn Mirage. Last summer, 2 patrons were found dead in a nearby creek, heightening fears that the venue and surrounding neighborhood may not be safe. At the time, both the venue and the city pledged to improve security in the area. Yeah. Since then, there has been a notable reduction in the number of illegal rideshare drivers offering their services and better lighting on the street adjacent to the venue. However, the added lighting does not extend to other streets frequented by those walking to and from transportation locations. And there seems to be a lack of NYPD or private security in the area. Just days ago, another man was found dead in Newton Creek after attending a show at the nearby Knockdown Center. Fuck, that's crazy. So that, little part of Brooklyn, I had a friend who lived, a 10-minute walk from there, a 15-minute walk from there, right? It's like this industrial zone in between Williamsburg and Bushwick that is kind of like its own little zone, because there's a lot of warehouses and a lot of semi-trucks, and it was it used to be just this industrial zone basically, and some of those buildings have turned into venues. My friend's building was a warehouse turned into an apartment building, and so it's this kind of middle ground where Brooklyn Mirage and I guess the Knockdown Center as well are. And so when you're walking through that neighborhood, it's not lit up as a neighborhood, it's lit up as a warehouse area. So there's not a lot of apartments, there's not a lot of whatever, it's just a lot of warehouses. So it is kind of sketchy on the surface. I've never had an issue walking around there, but I'm also a guy, and I don't know, the rideshare stuff is also terrifying. But yeah, we just got to make sure that we are doing everything in our power to make sure the community is safe. So Brooklyn Mirage, get more security out there, let people bring Narcan in. It's really simple. It is really simple stuff. But yeah, that is the episode for today. I appreciate you guys listening. If you did all the way through, I think that was a pretty fun one. Obviously, apart from the woman dying at Burning Man, rest in peace to her. Thoughts and prayers to the people around them, and blessings to the people who are going to be embarking on Burning Man this week and who are there right now. One day I will be there. And yeah, remember to subscribe, all that shit. And I appreciate you. Once again, my name is JD. This has been That's Fyre, episode 97. I will see you next week.